Good afternoon, Bryan College Station. Welcome to the Beliucci Hour Lunch, live on Sports Radio 1150 The Zone, 102.7 FM. I am your host, Ryan Brauninger. We are here at the Tap on Harvey Road, and we are presented, as always, by HomeSpark. For more information, visit homesparkcare.com. They provide, offer assistance in transportation, meal prep, household duties, fall prevention, memory care, and personal care. And go visit homesparkcare.com for more information. A lot of stuff to get to today. Aggies and Ole Miss, 11 o'clock on Kyle Field. It feels like it's been since the summer since we've seen Aggie football at home. We've got Tap SEC Pick'em Challenge. We've already got questions coming up here to the stage at the Tap. Great crowd today. Really good crowd, really loud and boisterous crowd. So we're excited to have you guys here. We're excited to have you guys listening along as well if you're joining us on our live streams. Very excited to have you for that. So let's get started with these weekly winners. We've still got some tickets, some Renaissance tickets to give, Renaissance Fest tickets to give away from earlier weeks. So if you're here, we've got the week 8 and 9 winners still that have not claimed their RenFest tickets presented to us by Bud Light. Thank you to Bud Light for that. Tim Moriarty, actually the week 7 winner. Tim Moriarty, your stuff's here. William West, the week 9 winner. And last week's winner, Ron Leck. Ron Leck, is that how you say it? Lueck? Ron Leck. All your stuff's up here, and we have the updated leaderboard. There is a 4-way tie for first place now with 66 points, and I am not one of them. I'm a game back at 65. I've dropped off the pace a little bit. Liucci, you're in 7th with 60, but it feels like there's a lot of room, a lot of games for you to make up in these last 3 weeks.
We'll see. 5's a lot, man.
So you're going to have to start looking at mine if you want to catch me and pick differently on some of these.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Well, you don't want to win.
No, that's just not how you do it. That's called just like that's just a cheap way to go about it.
Just understand you got to live with an off season of me bragging if I beat you.
You're going to find something to brag about, whether it's tangible or not. So,
well, let's start real quick with Aggie basketball. Opened the season last night. I thought they played with a ton of energy. I know it was Savannah State. It was definitely a different team than what we've seen in the past. A lot of new faces, a lot of new names for everybody to get to know. I thought Savion Flagg was outstanding. And if he can continue being that kind of energy player and the entire team continue to play with that kind of energy, I think this team can make the tournament.
Man, you took a big leap after watching them play Savannah State.
They were way more athletic than I thought they were.
Yeah, they were, and that's what we've been hearing all offseason. I think they've got athletes. I think, but it's a first game, so I don't want to read too much into it good, and I certainly don't want to read too much into it bad. But it's hard to tell. Like,
what'd you like?
Nebo really impressed me with his physicality in there. And again, I liked everything that people had been saying all offseason. I loved the athleticism of Savion Flagg. I liked the way they shot. I didn't like Stark. Well, I can't stand Stark, but Starks turning it over. Yeah. That's Jim Stark over there. But Starks turning it over 9 times in that game, and I just thought it's not going to be like that all year. We saw him last year in clutch situations, but that was an issue at times for him even last year. So you did it without Admon, obviously, and you were without 2 guards. So my concerns would be, a lot of those rebounds and stuff they're getting last night. You're not getting those in, against the elite, even SEC competition. So I want to see what kind of inside presences they can have outside of. Just can't be just one guy.
Isaiah J.C. probably needs to be, more active down. At least in.
Again, again, I don't want to read too much in. I'm just trying to say of what I saw on that court. You're saying they got to finish in the top half of the SEC and then some to make the tournament. We'll see.
I think it's going to be.
It gives me hope. If they play hard like they did, I like the hustle. I like the effort. It looked like there was teamwork. And I like the tempo they played at. I'm encouraged. I'll put it that way. It's one little game, but I was encouraged by the performance.
It's definitely a different looking team. Again, like I think the pace of play is going to be faster. They want to get shots up quicker, seems like. When Savion Flagg came in, he was actually really close to a lot of these football kids in that South Houston, Manville, Alvin area.
Yeah.
But when he came in, I always thought he could be Daniel House-esque. Now, I don't know if he'll ever be the scorer, but I think that skill set of being a 6'7" wing that can shoot from outside, he gets to the rack a lot. He's good in the paint and as far as rebounds, stuff like I think he can be a guy throughout his career that fills up a stat sheet for sure.
Yeah,
now whether he's on the level of Daniel House, who's one of the best A&M's had, in the last 20 years, who knows? But I was really encouraged by Savion's start.
Yeah, I was too. I like him. I love him and Gilder. When Starks is on, he's really, really good when he's on. And I was impressed with Nebo. And I was impressed. I think you add in 2 more guards that, obviously weren't playing last night. I think there's some depth there, too.
Well, it looks like in college basketball that we've got an Alabama situation brewing with what Duke did to Kentucky on opening night.
See, this is what I mean. You can't – they look badass.
Dude, they look like an NBA team.
And those freshmen are absolutely insane. And they've got to be number 1. You move them past Kansas, even though the Kansas is number 1. All they did was go and beat Tom Izzo, Michigan State, and I would still move Duke to number 1. But those type of games when Kentucky's got, all new guys themselves, I will say I remember a year ago at this time, Texas A&M was beaten by 30 without Robert Williams.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so who knows? Michigan who was it, Michigan this week that had a really hard time with some no-name.
Baylor lost to Texas Southern.
Baylor lost to TSU. I mean, early basketball is the interesting thing about it is it can be so deceiving and be so, it can lead you so far off the path of what's real and what's not, but it still counts.
And it's important for RPI stuff. So, I mean, that win against West Virginia last year was huge with A&M down the stretch for their resume.
And at the end of the day, Duke just beat, Kentucky by 30 on a neutral floor.
And I did see a tweet from a national college basketball writer.
Zion insane.
That said, could they go undefeated? Like, could this Duke team go Now, that's putting the cart way before the horse.
In the ACC, I'll say no.
No, it's tough. It's like the SEC in football. Every week's going to be a grind for them.
Yeah.
Speaking of Twitter, today is the 1-year anniversary of the Mike Bianchi article.
Wait. I'll say this, too. Florida State just beat Florida by 25. So it was not good for the SEC, but really good for the ACC. And we'll see if that thing starts to even out at all. But those two were pretty noteworthy early scores.
Good, and you segued into the Florida State. 1 year ago today, Mike Bianchi wrote the article. Can we please stop with the rumors that Jimbo Fisher is coming to Texas A&M? Here we are 9 games into his tenure here at A&M. An important one, I think, because all the ones that are left are important if you want to really kind of gain some momentum toward the offseason in 2019 and in recruiting, which you already got. 11 a.m. kickoff against Ole Miss. I think this game comes down to time of possession on A&M. Can you limit Ole Miss's possessions? And then against a porous defense, can you score touchdowns in the red zone?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, look, I've been saying this. A&M, 2 things. They have not been good in the red zone. They have been trying to score in the red zone against some of the very best defenses in college football. They've probably faced more of a daunting task than any team playing the sport this year. No matter what team you want to name me, I don't think there has been a team, an offense in college football that has had to face more of a gauntlet than what A&M has, because they did have to take on Clemson and that defensive front. Alabama, which we saw what they do this weekend. They're so much better than even their stats, which are already impressive. Kentucky, who is a top 10 defense, top 15 defense this year. Mississippi State, which is easily a top 10 defense this year. And then Auburn, who's a little off that tick, but
top 30.
Easily. Again, now you're talking about, I mean, you got a team that might win the Pac-12 that scored 14, 15 points against Auburn, and that when they go out of conference. Mm-hmm. You played in your 9 games, you've played 4 absolutely elite defenses and a 5th one with a ton of NFL talent, a 25-year defensive coordinator and a unit that is really good. That's more than half of your games. No one else in the sport now can say that. because no one in the SEC – now, there might be a team that's played Bama and LSU already, and A&M will be playing them. So A&M will end up playing – they'll end up playing UAB, who's ranked in the top 10 in most defensive categories, and LSU. They will play the toughest defensive schedule in the country this year, bar none, without question. Don't argue with me. Don't waste your breath. It's a fact. With that said, they don't have that excuse this weekend.
Yeah, this ain't one of them.
You're playing at home. You've got something to prove offensively after going, you had 5 chances. And, again, that was a team loss last weekend all the way around. I guarantee you from Jimbo to Elko to Dickey to every player on the team that played a role in that game, to the offense, to the defense, to the special teams, every one of them is like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that, we should have done this. That was a team loss. But offensively, you're coming in and playing at home, and you're going against a defense that, Bronny, if you go look at it, they are dead last in almost every single solitary category: run defense, pass, scoring defense, total defense. Every one of them, they're dead last. And even if you say just SEC games only, they're like 12 to 14 in every category. This is a bad defense. They haven't figured it out, and A&M needs to light them up. And like you said, red zone opportunities are so important, because the flip side of that coin,
they don't need to be in the red zone to score.
This is, I'm not going to say it's the best offense in the SEC.
It's the best passing offense.
They scored 7 points against Alabama. They scored 16 against Auburn a couple weeks ago. I've seen them struggle at times in games. But for matchup, when it is the best passing offense and probably the second best passing quarterback going against this secondary, as an offense, you better score and you better capitalize, just like you said, in the red zone.
On the other side of the break, we've got a lot more to get to with this breakdown of A&M and Ole Miss. You'll listen to Beliucci Hour Lunch, powered by Homespark.
You can listen to Chip Howard 46 weekdays on Sports Radio 1150, Zone 102.7 FM, and online at RadioAggieland.com. Chip Howard.
Be good to your vehicle, and it'll be good to you. Hi, I'm Gabriel Garcia from Traditions Mobile One Oil and Lube. And while that's a simple concept, it's so true. We're a full-service oil and lube shop with years of experience. And that experience tells us to always go the extra mile for our customers. Like topping off fluids for free on most vehicles and free tire pressure checks.
See Traditions Mobile One Oil and Lube on Villa Maria at 2818 next to Raleigh Car Wash, or at East William J. Bryan next to the main post office.
You need help if you've been charged with a crime. The justice system is daunting. You need an experienced defense lawyer to obtain the best results for you. Steve Gustitis, attorney at law, has been helping people fight criminal charges for over 20 years. Call Steve Gustitis now to schedule your free consultation. 823-9111. Qualified people are ready to take your call. Let Steve Gustitis put his experience to work for you. 823-9111. Visit GustitisLaw.com today and get the help that you need.
At Homespark, we believe we stand on the shoulders of those that have come before us. We strive every day to honor our seniors by giving them the respect they deserve while helping them age with dignity and prolonging their independence. With Homespark, we provide ship, transportation, meal preparation, light household duties, and more of what you think is important. We're thankful for the faith Aggieland has placed in Homespark, making us the most trusted and valued. For more personalized care we offer, go to homesparkcare.com. Homespark, we care for people.
For nearly 2 decades, TexAgs has been the #1 Aggie community online. And thanks to that community, we've been able to grow into so much more. TexAgs is now an industry-leading media company that covers Aggie football, basketball, baseball, and recruiting like nobody else. Our staff of over 30 consistently delivers in-depth analysis, X's and O's breakdowns, award-winning video content, and the most reliable inside